Hey, welcome to Life Beyond Board Games, where board gamers just like you share stories, challenges, and secrets outside of board gaming. We'll hopefully make you feel good, laugh, cringe, cry, or maybe fall asleep. I'm Melissa from the bedroom.
I'm Stella from Maple University.
And I'm Eric from What's Eric Playing. Joining us once again is Danielle Reynolds. Danielle was not disturbed by our stories of personal dating hardship, and so she's come back to once again grace us with more stories about, I'd say Life Beyond Board Games is kind of the title of our podcast, and we start getting into IP overlaps, and then there's a lawsuit, and then we all lose friendships. It's complicated, but
It's complex.
we'll settle for just whatever's on her mind. I think today, though, we were kind of interested. So in the previous episode, you mentioned that you were really ramping up on the game publishing train with possibly, again, based on the state of the world, maybe even 20 designs coming out in hitting your 20th design in the near future. And so I think a lot of our viewers were really... Why do I keep saying viewers? This is a podcast. People who listen to the podcast. Podcasties. A lot of our podcasties. What?
Listeners.
No, that seems silly. A lot of our podcasties were really interested in the idea of, that whole route, right? Because you start somewhere and you keep plugging away at it and you end up having this like big impact on the industry. And that's really cool. So we wanted to hear a little bit more about your journey.
Yeah, cool. Share us.
Yeah, so I found out about the hobby game side in 2018, started trying to design in 2019, had my first game signed at the end of 2020, and my first game job that was full-time in 2021, which made me move now to New England in Springfield, Massachusetts. And since then, by the end of this year, depending on, as you said, how the world is going, I'll be hitting hopefully 20 published games that I designed or co-designed. And that's excluding developed games, because if we add those, we're at over 30.
That's
and
really
by
cool,
next year,
though.
thanks to my current day job contract, I'm going to be over 30 games designed. Yeah, so the ramping's gone up. It's been very interesting.
It's including expansions, that 20 number, or is it?
Yeah, I am including expansions, so that's true. I don't know. I feel like everyone counts them or doesn't. Like the Caution Signs expansion is coming out this summer, and that's a standalone expansion. So like you can play it alone or you can add it in. The Tricky Kids expansion is going to be there. That's not a standalone. You'll have to own the base game.
Even trickier, kids.
Yeah.
It's called Cheater Pumpkin Eater.
That makes more sense than what I
It
said.
doesn't
That's so
matter.
cute.
It doesn't matter expansion or not. I
Yeah.
have 0 design games, so same.
Yeah, no, I like that one because most of the designs I make are normally inspired by my life. And with Tricky Kids, I just hated trick-taking games and wanted to make one where I could write my own numbers because I hated getting stuck with a dumb hand. And so that's what inspired Tricky Kids. And the expansion was inspired by when people would play it, someone would be like, ugh, I don't want to do math. Can I just copy your homework? And it was like, actually, that's a great mechanic. So now people can copy the numbers and just put it on the card and stuff if they don't want to make up it themselves.
Based on if you are trying to date a Danielle Reynolds, do not send emails to everyone's at work. Learn her personality by learning all the games that she's designed. And anyways, you'll know happily ever after.
Oh my God, no. I've had someone use her story to get me over to their house to make out with me. So it is, yeah, I've had people use games to get to me. It is hilarious. Even my now current girlfriend, it was a 2 truths and a lie question on a dating app that suckered her into wanting to swipe right or whatever on me. Because one of the things was, I have a game coming out based off my dating life as one of the truths. And she's like, I hope this is real. And she's played this game so many times and has a copy now that Perfectly Imperfect is out. So that was a green flag for her.
And she's still with you? Awesome.
She's still with me.
That seems like such a risky thing to be like, yeah, I want to get involved in this either way. I'm like, that seems risky. Respect it.
I mean, I am a risky human. I come with lots of stories. And you might end up in a game if you date me. We talked about Taylor Swift last time. I basically am the Taylor Swift of board game designers. Except gay. Well, more gay, I guess, because she's bi, I think.
Yeah.
That's apparently a very, 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 very intense question from some subreddit I've heard. But neither here nor there.
What was the question?
Oh.
What's the intense question?
Oh, whether or not
Taylor Swift.
is Taylor Swift
Taylor
bi?
Swift is bisexual.
I was like,
Yeah.
I totally missed that.
Yeah.
I was like,
and I'm a lesbian.
That's
so like, I
hilarious.
guess I got her beat on the percentage at least because of being.
That's
yeah.
hilarious.
I've heard there are people going through like the deep dark archives trying to figure that out, and I'm like, that seems like an interesting use of your time. But
Oh yeah. No, it takes a special kind of girl to date someone like me. But I've made sure to put it like out there as like, hey, as a heads up, I take a ton of pictures. I'm on a ton of things. Like you'll hear my voice, my face, and I make a lot of games, and I have really weird interactions with human beings in person and online because of the stuff I do. And she's like, let's go.
So Danielle, how does one go from one game to like over 30 games? Because for me, sometimes I'm like, I play a lot of board games. I'm like, oh, I wish I could make a game like this, and I might be inspired for like a day or two, but then I don't have the follow through. So how do you go from 1 to 31, 30 plus, and is number one the most difficult, or you don't get like writer's block, creative block? How do you keep the momentum going?
Yeah, so I do not operate like many game designers. I have a podcast called Game Design Unboxed where I interview game designers about the games they make. And so everyone is so different. But for me personally, my first game wasn't the hardest game to make. It was actually gamified question asking called No Filter. You basically did like roll 2 dice, dice determine what question you're asking and who you're asking it to, or like who's answering. And so it wasn't that complicated, but it was a mass market game. So my first job in gaming was actually at a manufacturing company. And because I had already been designing games and I had a pitch deck, they basically had me create a design studio inside of the manufacturing company because Force Prism had gone away and been eaten up by Funko. So it kind of left this like weird gap where mass market companies needed design studios. And it was like before a lot of them popped up. And because we were already manufacturing for a lot of these companies, it kind of became this like easy, hey, we already have their ear. Danielle, can you make stuff? And so my first 5 games were made within a year and came out within a year because 4 of them were like, hey, we're already working with the company. And they're like, hey, we need a music-based party game that kind of has Cards Against Humanity vibes. So I was like, great, I already have a prototype that I do a little tweaking, and it became Verses, which it's like, here's a card with a memory, and everyone's playing song titles. So like that time I got crop dusted in the elevator, and it's like, don't stand too close to me or push it or whatever, we all players. And then we use guitar picks to simultaneously vote. So like it wasn't that complicated of designs, but it was more creating things very quickly for very specific needs. And then one of the designs I made was for eBay. And that just happened to be, I met a guy that worked at eBay after Gen Con at the airport, and I noticed his t-shirt and started talking to him and pitched him the idea of making a game.
That eBay game, was that your game?
Yeah, the eBay one that they gave away, that was mine. And that came from just like being like, hey, I can make you a game, and following up with them. So like really it's a lot of ideating quickly, talking with confidence, and then following up, and then not making too terrible a game. Granted, I ended up not staying at that company. So the eBay game, they tweaked a few things I don't love, and there's a few typos. And also they put white on yellow, which really pisses me off. I hate that color combo.
Yeah,
I can't read it. But yeah, so my first like big batch of games came from that one particular job, I guess. And then the next one was I got contracted to work on her story because they realized we should probably have one of the designers be a girl since it's her story.
What better way to celebrate women than having men tell the story, though?
Literally, though, it's so bad. But it was between me and Roberta Taylor, who did Creature Comforts, and they picked me because I had more availability. So that's just like a fun story because Roberta after that was like, I'm quitting my job and going to do full-time freelance game design because I don't want to give up an opportunity like this again. And so like her story kind of set both of our worlds into different areas. And because of my work with Underdog on that, I ended up getting hired and I worked on some games for them for National Geographic. So I had 2 more come out. And then I got laid off because they had financial issues.
Right.
So it's like I've had such a weird roller coaster of ups and downs and stuff. And then we had caution signs. So it's like at that point I was up to 8 games thanks to one company and then another company. And then we had caution signs where the idea was just like a spark, came out in less than a year. So actually most of my games idea to come out in about a year, which is incredibly unheard of. Like I have been much faster than a lot of designers I talk to. I feel like on average, you're normally talking more like 3 years from idea to actually being able to play a game. So that happened. Tricky Kids was another one of those like spark ideas. I was walking around in Malaysia and I came up with this idea of like, oh, I hate how taking games work, so I'm going to do this thing. And it was just such a unique mechanic that it got signed quickly and out quickly by Pandasaurus. And, now a year later, not even a full year since the release, because it released in November, they already have an expansion coming out. So like, it's been very fast. It's like boom, 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 boom. And I've signed a decent amount of games, and a lot of them are like coming out this year. And because of the state of the world, things have been pushed around, which is why I have potentially up to 10 dropping in 1 year.
Right.
So Perfectly Imperfect, the time of recording this, came out 2 weeks ago.
Congratulations.
Oh, wow.
And that's one based off my dating life.
I need to play that.
Oh my God, it's so fun.
Yeah, I want to play that.
Funny.
Yeah, I love writing content for party games. Like, that's a skill set that I enjoy flexing. And I don't get to do it enough on the hobby side.
So you're a bit like, stand-up comedian. So everyone around you would be the subject of your work, right? So
if you do something funny enough, yeah, you might end up in a game.
That makes sense.
Be careful.
Well, I was going to say that speaks to an interesting question, though, because you talk about how much of the games you design are pulled from your own life in some way, shape, or form. I guess when talking about that, how do you really capture something, or how do you notice something and start thinking, oh, I could fold this into a game? Or what sorts of, you talked about, if your friends do something funny enough, but what sorts of interactions or engagements make you think this would work in a game? Just for folks who are, the podcasties who are trying to decide if they trying to figure out what they can pull from their own lives to encapsulate in that.
Yeah, so I was talking about the content for Perfectly Imperfect, but the actual like gameplay mechanics came from my real life. So I was single, all my friends were in relationships, but a lot of them miss the whole dating app phase. So they wanted me on apps so they could play Swipe. And I'm sure everyone has a friend like that.
Yes.
And I was like, all right, look, if I'm going to let you do this, I need to watch first and make sure you actually know what I like before I let you take my phone and start messaging people. And so that's the whole idea of Perfectly Imperfect is you have 3 cards out, like a yes, no, and a maybe. I'm going to put mine face down. Everyone else is going to put their face down trying to match me. And they're going to put the one that they feel most confident in. There's a 4th card that they can put to try to get a point. You're getting points for every match. So it's like mechanically, it's not that complicated.
Right.
It is a very mass market friendly game. But in how I wrote the content.
When you say match, you mean like that your friend needs to know what you would do in that situation? Is that what you need to match?
Yeah, so it wants to know that like I'm a yes on both. Like I've matched
like
yes, this is the best one of all the 3 potential
Yeah.
profiles, and you also think yes. So that means you get a point because you matched me correctly. And then the person who is the dater is going to get the score of whatever the highest score is of all the players, I guess. If they got perfect, that's going to be 4 points. If they got nothing, that's 0 points. So like it ebbs and flows. There's also a 2-player variant that's like a first date to see if you get a second date. And I wrote like funny things that happen depending on your score, which I found very amusing. But the beauty of that game, which it took Randolph Games playing it to realize, was mechanically this was not that interesting. Like, okay, it's basically fuck, marry, kill, or any variation on that game. Like there's 3 options, yes, no, maybe, matchup. Great. Not that interesting. But it was in the writing of the game where there's a profile, username, 3 likes, and then the actual profile, that there's so many red and green flags depending on the person that my green flag could be your red flag. And so it naturally brought out conversation of things no one would ever talk about without this game spurring it on. I have learned some really interesting things about people thanks to this game, including like Jason, who's Easy Cat, hates birds. Like really hates birds. And I did not know that until Bird Nerd came out as one of the dating profiles. And that profile is based off Elizabeth Hargrave because she's my friend. She play tested this game a ton for me. So it's like, it's really interesting to learn about your friends in this natural way.
I know. I love that. I think there are other games as well that does that. But I can just tell, although I haven't played this one, I'll be interested in playing this one and then playing in a group of friends in our board game meetup. Or you can even get it sponsored from a speed dating company or something. I don't know. That's just like very interesting to know something.
No, my publisher was thinking about making me do that at Gen Con, do speed dating. And I'm like, as long as I'm not the prize, I'm okay doing this.
It's just, that's a really, that's a very specific, it's a very specific audience.
Yep.
Yeah. Man.
So that's one example of taking my real life and putting the mechanics into it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a very sweaty room at Gen Con.
Oh my gosh.
Eric.
Look, I've just got a lot of. I have a lot of trauma from like my third or fourth Gen Con where I was just walking through, cute as a button, minding my own business, bumped into a dude, and my left arm was suddenly covered in his sweat.
Oh.
Yeah, like
That's
it wasn't damp, it was full on wet.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And guess what? You can wash your arm, but it's never clean again. You know? Like there's a point that it's never
Until
There's a
now.
feeling that is left on you.
it's never clean again.
So funny.
Do you
my
feel sweat harassed, Eric?
I have post-traumatic sweat disorder, yes.
Oh my
Yep.
god. But you're still coming to Gen Con, so that's okay. You didn't learn your lessons. So.
You didn't learn your lesson.
You're overcoming your trauma. That's very good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's-
Okay.
it's fine.
Something.
At least you have a great roommate.
That's true.
Oh, it's you.
For the
I was like,
podcasties
yeah.
listening, Stella is proffering herself as my great roommate, which is true. Stella is a fantastic person to room with at Gen Con.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I mean, yeah, I've got my favorite people to pick to room at Gen Con. Melissa, you never been to Gen Con, so maybe one day you will.
No,
be.
I want to one day. One day. Yes, one day. Eventually.
Yeah, we can room together.
That's so funny. See, I started this year going, I'm not going to Gen Con. And then all my publishers informed me that basically my game releases at Gen Con. I was like, damn it. So now
Yay.
between 5 different games, I'm so busy.
Welcome to the inevitability of the board game industry. All roads lead to Gen Con.
Yeah, no, I'm going to be playing games. Yep. Yeah, I'm going to be zooming around a lot.
Asmodee gave us a bunch of like little mini fans, like battery powered fans at a press event at Gen Con maybe 2 years
I
ago.
remember
So I
that.
just need to remember to bring
Yep.
that.
That's smart.
Yeah.
It was a
Yes.
it was probably the most thoughtful thing I've ever received in a like board game media swag bag.
But by the way, Eric, you are also an awesome roommate. All right. Hopefully, we get a good room this year.
No
because-
chance, but that's
Yeah.
the Gen Con magic, baby. Brap. No open hotels.
Oh, see,
Yeah, I have to go every 2 days or something to try to find the hotels in the thing.
Honestly, my secret Gen Con dream, I know this is intensely irrelevant to this conversation, but I really want to sleep in one of the train car rooms.
Train car.
oh,
Right?
yeah,
It
I've
just-
stayed in that hotel, but I haven't been in the train
It
car.
just seems fun. They're more expensive, they're smaller, but it seems like it would be fun.
Where is
That's
it?
so funny.
It's at the one hotel with the train tracks running into it.
Yeah, it's kind of towards where the food
Oh.
outside is.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know,
Looking that direction.
It's that hotel. It's in downtown Indianapolis. The hotel with the rooms.
There you go.
People go there.
Hotel with the rooms.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Sure.
no. The only reason I have a good room is because this is my second year of doing a panel at the Design Academy.
Mhm.
So like I'm basically going to talk about 2 parts. The first part is doing the pitching and preparing and getting like all this stuff pre-pitch, and then the other is like the pitch and the follow-up. So essentially what made me successful in getting so many of these games out is a
Mhm.
2-part series, which allowed me to have access to a hotel that is really, really close by. I'm so happy.
Yeah, the nature of media at Gen Con is always kind of a mixed bag. Like
Yeah.
there is no there's no special privileges on the hotel itself, and even if there were, most of the close hotels are already taken by exhibitors
Yes.
anyways.
Yes.
And there's again perfectly reasonable reasons for exhibitors to
Yep.
need close hotel rooms. There's also some pretty good reasons for media, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. It's
I
always-
figure worst case scenario we can just get an Uber every day.
So Eric has refused to do the outro this time. So everyone, thank you for listening. Hopefully we
I did it
we
last
made a good companion for your journey. Hope we made a good companion for your driving, house chores, routines, or whatever it is that you do, or getting tips from Danielle for designing games, dating,
Yeah, that's her name.
getting tips for dating, buy the game so you can avoid the bad experience or learn from.
Stella, in her official capacity on Life Beyond Board Games, is guaranteeing you a good romantic outcome if you buy Perfectly Imperfect right now. You can hold Stella
Exactly.
legally responsible for that.
There's some good value here in this podcast.
I don't even get commissions out of this, thank you. But anyway, once again, if you enjoy it,
Just for the love of the
if you
game.
enjoy it, and if Eric can shut up. Once again, it would mean a lot to us if you could follow us and leave a potentially good review. Again, if you have bad review, as we try to remind you every now and then, just send directly an email to Eric instead. So, and follow us and all that, and see you next episode. Thanks very much, everyone.
Thanks,
again,
everyone.
Danielle,
Thanks
for
for
coming
having
thanks
me.
for coming on, Danielle.
Thanks, Danielle.
Yep.
Yes.
God, talk
Bye.
during the outro. Don't
Bye.
talk during the outro. Make up your mind.
I know, my God.